She said she needed help with our daughter, so we hired a nanny. 2 months later, my wife smelled like men's cologne, and every night she came home smiling at someone else's texts. I never thought I'd be the kind of guy posting something like this. But here I am, confused as hell and feeling like my whole marriage might be a lie. My name's Andrew. I'm 35, work as a software engineer, mostly remote now. My wife, Emily, 33, is a high school math teacher. We've been together for almost a decade, married for 6 years, and have a 2-year-old daughter, Lily, who's the absolute light of our lives. Since Lily was born, things have been different. Not bad, not toxic, just strained. We both love our daughter to death, but the sleep deprivation, the constant stress, the work-life balancing act, it took a toll. Especially on Emily. She went back to work earlier than she planned, and I could see the guilt in her eyes every morning she left Lily behind. We held out for as long as we could. Between my flexible hours and her mom occasionally helping, we managed. But by the time Lily hit 18 months, it was clear. We needed help. So we hired a nanny. Her name's Brooke. She came highly recommended, mid-20s, lots of infant experience, CPR certified, the whole package. She interviewed like a pro, kind, soft-spoken, and immediately bonded with Lily. Even Emily, who's always been more reserved, seemed relieved after the first few days. The first couple of weeks were actually great. Brooke showed up early, brought new sensory toys, sent us photo updates throughout the day. Lily adored her. Emily and I started finding little moments for ourselves again. Quiet dinners, coffee dates on Saturdays. For a second, it felt like we were getting our rhythm back. But somewhere around the second month, I started noticing shifts. Emily's routine changed. She started wearing perfume again. Not the soft, floral kind she used to wear, but something sharper, muskier. Her wardrobe got bolder. Not inappropriate, just more attention-grabbing. Lipstick on a Monday morning. Heels, even though she teaches on her feet all day. I chalked it up to confidence. Maybe she was finally starting to feel like herself again. But then came the nights she came home. Off. Distant. Glowing phone screen lighting up her face in the dark. And that smell. Cologne. Not hers. Not mine. The first time I noticed it, I thought maybe it was one of her male colleagues. Maybe a student accidentally bumped into her. But it kept happening. And every time she had a different explanation. One night, I asked gently, "Hey, what's that scent?" "Smells like men's cologne." She didn't even blink. "Oh, probably the bus. Some guy was sitting next to me." Her voice was calm. Too calm. And that's when something inside me shifted. I wasn't angry. Not yet. But I was alert. Watching. Listening. And I started paying attention to every detail. Her mood when she left, when she returned. How she reacted to Brooke. How much time she spent texting. What I found in the days that followed cracked my trust wide open. After that night, I couldn't think straight. Every time Emily walked out the door with Lily, I felt a knot tighten in my chest. And Brooke. I noticed Emily's glance whenever Brooke texted. Soft signals I didn't register before, a quiver of her lips, a hesitation in her smile. So I started paying attention to our routines. When Emily left the house, where she went, and how long she stayed. I logged her departures in a notebook. It felt pathetic, like I'd turned into a stalker. But I couldn't stop. Then I downloaded a tracking app, with her permission for safety reasons, on her phone. She agreed, said it would help if I was working late, and Lily was alone with the nanny. She never questioned it. One Thursday evening she messaged, "Need to run to the store. Be back in 20." I didn't think much, until an hour later, her phone pinged near an upscale hotel. Not the store. My heart sank. I checked the address on Google Maps. Hotel, bar, maybe suites. I flipped through security footage on public cameras nearby. Poor quality, but I saw her car pull in, then leave 90 minutes later. I confronted her calmly that night. "You said you went to the store." She hesitated, then admitted, I ended up having coffee with Brooke. Nanny could hold Lily. Coffee? Brooke? Feel my blood freeze. I asked, "Why didn't you tell me?" She brushed it off. Our schedules matched. It was easier. But I felt the lie like bullets hitting my chest. In the days that followed, I kept tracking. Lunch dates during school pickup, evenings out alone running errands. Once, she stayed out until midnight. Another time, I saw her phone's contact labeled B. No name, just initial. One night, I checked the nanny's social media on her phone, moment she'd walked away. No direct messages showed. But there were filtered stories, the kind you only see when you're close. Photos from events I never knew they'd been to, laughing selfies, flirty emojis. I felt betrayed from both sides, my wife and someone I thought was part of my family. It wasn't proof yet, but the pattern, it was undeniable. And I realized I had to decide, dig deeper or confront head on. I decided it was time. No more quiet suspicion. No more silent notebooks and hidden location apps. That night, after Lily was asleep, I sat Emily down in the living room. I held the phone open to the photos and hotel check-in screenshot. "Emily, what's going on?" My voice shook, and I felt like I was stepping into a trap I'd set for myself. She stared at the phone, tears forming in her eyes. She paused, took a shaky breath, and nodded toward the phone. That was Brooke's apartment. I flinched. Apartment? So you weren't getting coffee. You were visiting her? Emily put her hands on her face. Soft. Frantic. I didn't know how to tell you. It started out innocent. After work, we'd talk. I needed someone to vent to. Someone, not Dad or Lily. But then it became more. More how? I asked, voice low, pounding in my ears. She looked me in the eye. We kissed. A cold wave washed over me. I remembered the perfume, the late nights, the easy proximity. Everything made sense. I felt torn, rage, heartbreak, confusion. My voice cracked. You betrayed me. You betrayed us. Emily started crying. I know. I'm so sorry. It meant nothing. I love you. I never meant to hurt you. Then why hide it? I demanded. Why start the lies? Her tears fell freely. I was scared. I felt lost. And I hated admitting it. To you. To myself. But then when it happened, I wanted it to mean something. I shook my head. It's a choice, I said. A choice to cheat. Not accident, not mistake. You chose it. She looked at me, guilt and sorrow in her eyes. I know, and I hate myself for it. I felt rage bubbling. My voice rose. And Brooke? This has been going on for weeks, with our child. You turned our home into something else. Emily sobbed. I swear it didn't happen with Lily present. It was late. I came home when she slept. I closed my eyes, tears biting. What do you want, Em? She whispered. I don't know if I can stop. I don't know if I want to. The world collapsed. I realized this wasn't about trust. It was about survival. I stood, my heart pounding. We're over. She looked up, hurt, shocked. No, please. I walked out. I left the door open for her guilt to follow. I didn't look back. The laughter of our daughter echoed behind me, collapsing my certainty. The next morning, I woke up on the couch. Lily's drawings and her half-eaten toast were strewn around me. Emily wasn't there. I stared at the door, didn't know what to do. She eventually texted, I'm sorry. I'll come back when you're ready to talk. I felt torn, angry, betrayed, devastated. But the drawing of Lily, her little son with stick figure us, pulled at my heart. I wanted to give us a chance. Not for her. For her. We agreed to meet at the park, neutral ground. I walked slowly, seeing her sitting on the swings. She looked lost. When she saw me, tears started again. I didn't know what to say. My silence spoke more than words. She whispered, I'm so sorry. I don't expect forgiveness. I just want to fix this. But only if you want me to. I looked at the empty swing beside her. I remembered weekends spent teaching Lily to pump her legs, Emily's laughter mingling with mine. I felt the weight of the choice. Move on or heal. I need to know, I said finally. Do you choose us? Because I can't fix everything alone. She nodded, voice trembling. Yes. I'll end it with Brooke. I'll go to counseling. Anything. I held her hand. Then this ends here. She squeezed back. Tears streamed down her face. We sat like that. Two broken people holding on. We left the park together. Not making promises of perfection, just walking forward with an intention to try. The days after that park meeting felt like walking with a fractured heart. Delicate, unsteady steps towards something unknown. Emily moved back home 3 days later. There were no grand gestures, just a quiet return, a shared look over breakfast, and the weight of everything still between us. We didn't erase what happened. Instead, we treated it like an injury. Clean it, dress it, give it time. We found a counselor and started weekly sessions, together, and sometimes just her. Emily began to unpack why she ran to Brooke, tracing the loneliness, the exhaustion, the sense of being invisible in our routine. I started exploring my own guilt, how I'd become absent too, locked in code and screens, missing the person I married. At home, we reset boundaries. No secrets, no hidden time away. Emily deleted Brooke's contact and blocked her outside of nanny hours. She shared her texts. I shared my location. We rebuilt trust, slowly, brick by brick, with humble acts. Breakfast together, bedtime stories, early morning walks with Lily and Max. Little things mattered. She made my coffee just right again. I loaded the dishwasher without being asked. We laughed when Lily tried to teach us handstands. For a moment, normal felt like a gift. But healing isn't linear. 2 weeks in, I caught Emily staring at her phone, waiting for a text from Brooke. I recognized the pause in her breath. I didn't accuse. Instead, I asked gently, "Still part of you waiting?" She looked up, hurt flash in her eyes, and nodded. It wasn't over. But I said, "We're still here, together. But I need you with me, fully." She nodded, tears forming. She deleted the app she used to message Brooke, unblocked me from her device. Our counselor had warned, relapse is common. What matters is intention. We cried about it later, stuff we hadn't said, soft truths. We didn't need to fix everything that night. We just needed acknowledgement. Pain acknowledged is pain shared. At 6 weeks, I found our vows on my laptop. First draft she'd almost thrown away. Lines about love, partnership, being safe together. I printed them, taped them to the fridge next to Lily's drawings. Every morning I read them before going to work. Our commitments, visible. Last weekend, we hosted a small family BBQ. Emily laughed when Lily smeared ketchup on her nose. I caught her hand midair and kissed it. That moment, it felt simple. It felt honest. Like maybe trust could grow again. I still wake up some mornings with knots in my stomach. The ring feels heavier. But I breathe and remember. Healing isn't forgetting. It's choosing to keep walking, even when the road changed. 2 months have passed since that park confrontation. We didn't declare victory. We didn't sweep the past under a rug. We just kept showing up. For therapy, bedtime stories, date nights in our living room when Lily was asleep, and long talks about fear and what comes next. Emily has been honest. Brutally, painfully honest. She shared her thoughts, her shame, her despair. And I've learned to listen before I react. To breathe instead of retreat. To question why something broke. Not just what broke. It's not perfect. Some nights it still hurts when I see her look at her phone. Some mornings, I wake up feeling the loss of trust like a quiet ache. But I also wake up, reach for her hand, and feel hopeful. We're not engaged again. No new weddings planned. Instead, we're crafting something more profound. a partnership rooted in vulnerability. We're learning each other again, file by file, story by story, day by day. Recently, I asked Emily, "Do you ever wonder if we'll get through this?" She paused, then said, "Every day. But I choose us. And right now, that's enough." So here's what I want to put out into the universe. Reddit, YouTube, whoever's listening. Is it worth rebuilding after betrayal? Can trust ever become greater than it was before? What would you need to truly forgive and start over?